Oh hey, looks like I'm not the first one to show up.
Hello there. No need to pay me any mind. I'll just be absorbed in my book here. I assume you've come to meet someone? As they've clearly not arrived yet, why don't you join me? Here.
Thanks. Hey Linhardt, you're into all that spooky magic stuff, right? Like sorcery and crests and whatnot?
Yes? Why? Is there something you'd like to ask me?
Oh, no. I was just thinking it's kind of weird that you've never really been interested in my power.
Do you want me to be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand it myself. But with you helping me, I might actually learn something.
Uh-huh. Well, not everything piques my interest. Your circumstances simply do not.
If you're not interested, then so be it. But is there any particular reason why?
Hard to say. Perhaps because a sword is the only thing you're able to manifest? Strictly speaking, I suppose your power does raise some questions. But that sinister weapon of yours, it just doesn't leave me all that interested in learning more.
Sinister, huh? That's one way to describe it.
Tell me, have you ever beheld one of the hero's relics? They also possess the most peculiar aura. And yet, there's something almost divine about the terror they instill. But your sword? It's cold. Maybe even inhuman. In more complex terms, it's little more than an inorganic, dispassionate construct. Not a hint of the goddess's divine guidance in its design. It's not as if you were able to choose what you manifested, right? It just came to you.
True, but what if I could turn it into something else and start manifesting different things? Would you be interested then?
Is such a thing possible? I would like to see that for myself, I must admit. In fact, I'd be quite excited by that. What a fascinating topic to lay at my feet.
Hold your horses there. I'm not really sure I've laid anything anywhere just yet.
But aren't you the one who brought it up?
Bernadetta, what's wrong? Is there a rat in the base?
Wait, a rat? Nobody told me about a rat! Oh no, oh no, oh no! It's gonna nibble on all my snacks!
Hey, calm down. I didn't mean a real rat. I was talking about an enemy spy or something.
Oh, right. Anyway, it's something kind of like that, but different and still really, really bad.
Kind of like a spy, but different? Slow down and tell me what you saw.
Well, you see, there was this lady in the camp earlier who didn't look scary at all and even seemed kind of nice.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Shyness and fear of strangers got you down, huh? Well, let's see if I have something that can help.
Thanks.
I think I've got just the herb. It's gonna put you out a good few gold coins, but this baby will do wonders for relieving stress. And then... I've got something a little more, shall we say, tasteful. Real under-the-table kind of stuff. It's a pot that makes people like you. I would probably recommend against it, but the thing's on sale if you really want it. You okay there?
I just remembered something. Oh, how could you forget, Bernie? There are lots of scary people out there who pretend to look nice just so they can prey on you. And you must be one of them!
Well, that was weird. I'm not that scary, am I?
And that's how it all happened. I would have been dragged off and murdered if it wasn't for you!
But wasn't that just Anna? She's here all the time selling her wares. I mean, not all of it's the most reputable stuff, but I don't think she's trying to cheat anyone. And she's definitely not a murderer. This is all my fault. I should go apologize to her later.
Huh? She's not evil?
Not that I know of. I'm also pretty sure it's not the first time you've met her.
I don't know. I'm bad with faces.
You're pretty judgmental, you know that?
Huh?
What do we do? What do we do? How about this? There's this merc I've got in my crew. A real terrifying-looking hunk of muscle. Sweetest little teddy bear on the inside, though. If anyone's gonna help you overcome this, it's him.
Okay, I accept this challenge. You've got this, Bernie.
An opera company smack dab in the middle of the Imperial capital, huh? I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like. I mean, I've been all over the place for my mercenary work, but it's mostly just been for small-time rural lords and the like. Honestly, I'd never even met anyone from the big cities like Enbar or Ferdiad before coming to Garreg Mach.
You know, shows in the capital are about 1,000 times flashier than the little town festival shows you might be used to. Every important moment of the drama is conveyed through elaborate song, and at the center of the musical ensemble stands its star, the diva.
I think I get the idea. These divas sound pretty incredible. They probably get stage names and everything if they're that important, huh?
Oh, but of course, I was known as the mystical songstress.
Hey, that's pretty good. There always has been this kind of indescribable aura surrounding you.
Thanks, but I have mixed feelings about the name myself. They called me that because of how suddenly a street orphan like me was discovered and debuted.
Yeah, I see how there could be some complicated feelings wrapped up in that. But if you were able to rise from that to diva, you must have the chops to back it up. Not that I can even picture what that would sound like. Hey, do you think you could sing something for me?
Since you asked so nicely, but I'm only doing it this once, okay? How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall. Well, what did you think?
It was, yeah.
What, you didn't like it? Not quite the booming applause I'm used to.
No, it was incredible, honest. It's just, I'm not really sure I got it, you know? I mean, the only songs I know are the ones sung by mercs in taverns or village girls as they tend the fields. You're kinda in a different league, Dorothea. Sorry, I can't really give you much more than that.
Oh, don't worry about it. This sort of thing happens more often than you'd think.
Well, as long as you're not mad. If you don't mind, though, maybe you could try again for me sometime? I'd really like to hear you sing some more. And hey, I might even get better at telling you what I thought.
Sure. I suppose I can give you one more chance.
Hey, I was wondering if I could ask you something. I heard that you don't have any parents. Is that right?
Yeah, the woman who raised me died, and I don't even know who my birth parents are.
That must be tough for you, huh?
Nah, it's okay. They all died a long time ago, so I don't feel sad or anything like that now. But I do wonder who I really am sometimes. I don't have even the slightest memory of my birth parents.
Well, you might not know who you are, but you still work hard and you keep your chin up through it all. That makes you super strong in my book.
Hey, Raphael. Your parents are gone too, right?
Yeah, both my ma and pa died in an accident.
Well, then you're just as strong as I am. You work harder than anyone I know, and you do it all with the biggest grin in the world.
Of course! It's easy when you love training as much as I do. Hey, I just realized something. We've sure got a lot in common. Our parents aren't with us anymore. We're both commoners scraping our way through this war, and most importantly...
What can be more important than that?
both of us have got some serious brawn.
I appreciate that, but our body types are completely different. Not sure this really counts as brawn.
Sure, you're a little scrawnier than me, and maybe a lot smarter. But you know, my brain's been getting a constant workout ever since we opened the inn.
You have an inn?
Oh, yeah. I went home and started one up with my grandpa and little sis once the academy shut down. Running a business like that takes a surprising amount of muscle. Sure, there's regular stuff like hauling things around, but you need brain power too. If you ever want to make a profit, you have to pay real close attention to keeping the books straight. I mostly let my sis handle that stuff though. That muscle still needs more work for me. Which means I'm in charge of the cooking. But that has its own share of problems.
Yeah, it can be tough to find your footing when you switch jobs, especially if you have to start doing things outside your wheelhouse. Trust me, I've had my fair share of growing pains getting used to the army life. Everything's way different from how it worked with my merc groups.
But don't you just fight? That doesn't seem so different to me.
As a mercenary, the only thing you're responsible for is yourself. Show up and do the job right, and you'll get your pay. But having soldiers to command, people I'm in charge of beyond just myself, that's a huge change for me. And there's way more to military work than just plain combat. Stuff like managing resources, making sure everyone has the weapons and armor they need. I don't think I'm bad at math per se, but it's definitely not something I'm used to doing. And the more stuff there is to keep track of, the harder it all gets.
Hey, you're not so good at using your brain either. We're practically twins. That makes us pals now, right? I've got your back, so you just keep on working hard, buddy.
Right back at you. Let's keep fighting the good fight. Oh, hey, Ignatz. What you reading?
Wow.
Yeah, he definitely didn't hear me. Hey, Ignatz!
Ah, what? Oh, it's you. Can you please try to not sneak up on me like that?
Sorry about that. I was trying to talk to you, but it didn't seem like anything was getting through. Looks like you're really into that book, or whatever it is. What's it about? It doesn't look like battle tactics at the very least.
You're right. This is the Traveler's Journal. It chronicles places that lie beyond Fodlan's borders.
You've seriously been lugging books around with you? Though, I admit, that does sound like a good one.
Yes, it's fascinating. The author's unknown, but whoever it was really traveled to all these places and documented everything. It's amazing how vastly things can differ depending on where you are, like the plants or the animals or even the ore in the ground. And of course, the way people live in those areas is so diverse too, like their food and their clothes. But what's most interesting to me is the architecture. Ruins in Fodlan contain ancient architectural styles that are, for some reason, also found on faraway islands.
All right, I get the picture. You talk like you've seen it all firsthand.
Well, I really try to place myself in the author's shoes when I read. So I guess in a way, I have. I'd love to visit all those places myself, but that's easier said than done. Especially since I became a knight.
The way you say that makes me think you never wanted to be a knight in the first place.
Oh, no! No, of course I did. At any rate, both my father and my brother are pleased that it's official.
Sounds to me like you became a knight for them.
That's not it at all. I'm very happy with my decision, honest.
Even though you can't go off traveling?
Yeah, getting sent out to different locations for battle is kind of the same thing. Oh, but of course the mission always comes first. It's not like I go off wandering whenever I feel the urge.
Uh-huh. But you would if you could, right?
Why do you keep asking me about this? All these leading questions, they're uncalled for. I might not be able to travel of my own volition, but I can read books and go wherever I want in my imagination. And that's good enough for me.
Hey, Marianne, you were really doing great during those drills today.
Oh,
I'm heading over to the mess hall. You want to join? After all that training this morning and no break, I'm starving. Oh, sorry, I forgot. You like to eat alone, right? Then don't worry about it. I'll find someone else.
no, I'd like to accompany you. If you would have me, that is.
You sure? All right then, let's go. I wonder what's on the menu today. Oh man, that was good. I feel alive again.
Yes, that was nice.
By the way, why do you decide to come along with me?
What do you mean?
You usually sit by yourself. I thought you didn't like eating with others.
Yes, I do feel more comfortable when I'm alone. I haven't been around people much, so I don't normally know what to say in conversations.
Well, now I'm even more curious why you decided to eat with me.
Well, you have a strange power, right? It makes you transform, or something like that.
Yeah. You curious about it?
It's not so much that. I, wondered if you despised having it.
Nah, I don't even give it much thought. And besides, my powers come in handy a few times. I know it makes people suspicious of me and curious about my background, but that's just how people are.
And yet you always have such a sunny disposition, and everyone here respects you. I wondered why that was.
I mean, I sure hope they respect me. So that's why you wanted to join me?
I wanted to know how I could be like you.
Like me? But, Marianne, it's not like you have some mysterious power tucked away, right?
No, I don't.
If you just want to make friends with people, then you don't need to think so hard about it. It's not like anyone here hates you.
Don't they? I'm so useless.
Hey, you're a huge help to all of us. I mean that. So, you don't have to force yourself to act like someone you're not, okay?
All right. Thank you for saying that.
Yuri's still not back yet? It's been 5 days. What's this? A letter. Not like him to leave his stuff lying around. I wonder if it says anything about where he went. Well, it's just sitting there. Can't hurt to take a peek, right? Are you well? Eating enough? I worry about you all the time. Thank you for sending money always. I want to see you soon. Huh. Is this letter for Yuri? It's got a different name on it.
Having fun?
Yuri! Wow, you really snuck up on me. When did you get back?
Just now. More importantly, why are you snooping through things that don't belong to you? Choose your next words carefully, if you don't want them to be your last.
I'm sorry. It was just sitting out in the open, so I thought it'd be okay if I read it. I was worried you weren't coming back.
Never mind. I can't imagine you'd have a reason to pry into my affairs. I suppose this is what I get for taking off without telling anyone. And for being so careless.
Yeah, I thought you'd be the last person to leave something like this behind. You must have left in a hurry.
You could say that.
Was it because of the letter? I assume it's from someone in your family. Maybe a little brother or sister?
My mother, actually. She doesn't really have a way with words, I know. She's always been prone to illness, but lately her condition has grown worse. I try to visit whenever she asks to see me. Obviously, there are times when I can't go, but I have to take all the time I can get, right? I never know which visit will be my final chance to see her.
I understand. Once someone's gone, they're gone. But wait, the name on that letter, is that your real name? So, Yuri's an alias and you're really
No need to say it. And yes, what parent would call their kid by an alias anyway?
Fair point. It's a nice name, though. Why hide it?
In my line of work, it pays to have more than a few names. And don't go telling anyone about this. You won't like to find out what happens if you do.
I won't, promise. And if I do slip up, you're free to do your worst. In any case, I am sorry for prying. And for what it's worth, I hope your mom gets better soon.
If it were easy to cure, then we wouldn't even be talking about it. But I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless.
I am stuffed. Looks like you can really pack it away too, pal.
Still can't compete with you, Balthus. That sure did hit the spot, though.
Got that right. Now we can charge into tomorrow's battle fully energized. Hey, let's say we make a little bet, so you can go deeper into enemy territory.
No way. Warfare and wagers aren't a good mix. I mean, yeah, we're fighting for renown out there, but it's not a game. It's life and death.
Figured you'd say something like that. You seem like the type.
And yet, you asked me anyway. Don't try to drag me down with you, Balthus.
What's wrong with a little game of chance? It's not like it's evil or something.
Then what would you call it? Financially irresponsible? Because I don't want to end up broke either. Not like some people I know.
You're one tough nut, I'll give you that. But I'm not talking about money. You know what I'm getting at, right? When you're on the battlefield, the only thing you can bet is your life.
That's exactly what I take issue with.
Okay, I know this might sound a little far-fetched, but hear me out.
This ought to be good.
Whatever you do, you'll do it 10 times better if you're having fun, right? That's the key to success.
I mean, you're not wrong.
See, so there's nothing wrong with having a little fun on the battlefield, whether it's with bets or with something else. Living on that edge between victory and death is the key to survival.
Maybe for you, but that's not how everyone else approaches it. I've known plenty of mercs who have said the same thing, but they never made it back home. In fact, you're the only one of them who's still kicking. So, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree.
You know, you and I have a lot in common. We're practically kindred spirits. But this is the one thing we don't see eye to eye on. Strange, isn't it?
From where I'm standing, the only strange thing is the way you're thinking about this.
Well, I guess the bet's off then. Let's just put this little chat behind us and give it our all tomorrow.
Sounds good. Just don't get too reckless and wind up losing your head, okay?
Needless to say, that is the only logical course of action. Excuse me, are you even listening?
Sorry, I got distracted and missed the last part. Something about your plan to restore House Nouvelle?
That was where the conversation started. Clearly you have not listened to a single word I've said. Creating new magic, charting unknown sorcery waters. Therein lies the means to make my dream a reality. To that end, I have decided that you will make a most fitting test subject for my research.
No thanks.
What reason could you possibly have to refuse? Do you not want the honor of helping House Nouvelle regain its former glory?
I don't mind lending a hand, but I'm not so keen on being a test subject. You don't even know what'll happen. Wouldn't it make sense to experiment on yourself first?
Huh. A rather astute deduction for one such as yourself. However, there is one critical flaw in your reasoning. Were I to do as you propose, I would be unable to properly observe the results with my own eyes.
Well then, you'll just have to be patient until someone volunteers. We'd have a big problem on our hands if something happened to me before the next battle, right? Actually, that probably goes for everyone.
I suppose you are correct. But then, my research has reached an impasse.
I guess so. Okay, how about this? Since we're at war, why not try and distinguish yourself in battle? You could still conduct your research at the same time. Combat's more my wheelhouse anyway. In fact, we could even start right now with some training. What do you say?
I respectfully decline. While I am not entirely opposed to the idea of military prestige, I am unable to accompany you at this time. Training at night will surely suffice.
At night? But you won't have enough time if you don't train during the day. You're not planning on pulling all-nighters, are you?
Oh, please! I am not that foolish. I simply do not wish to train at this very moment.
If you work out at night, that means you're going to bed right after. That's going to reduce the quality of your sleep. You'll wake up sluggish the next morning, which will drag you down all day. It'll turn into a vicious cycle. See what I mean?
My, I never expected you to put forth such an eloquent counter-argument. Be that as it may, I have my reasons. Reasons that I, unfortunately, cannot ignore. Nevertheless, I shall succeed in all my endeavors, be they magical or military, and I shall do it all in my own way.
Oh, hey, Hapi. You sure like the outdoors, huh?
I guess you could say that. Probably because I grew up in a forest. Or maybe it's because I was forced to live in Abyss all that time.
Oh, that's right. You were at Garrigmach too. I wasn't there for very long, but I never would have guessed there was a whole town hiding just below my feet.
Well, it was. I should know. What about you, though? What did you do before hopping into the mercenary business?
Before that? Oh, well... I lived with my mom in a village deep in the mountains. Feels like forever ago now. Oh, I call her my mom, but we weren't actually related. She was more like a foster parent.
So what was she like? I don't suppose she was interested in magical research, was she?
I don't know about research, but yeah, she knew how to use magic.
Interesting. How did you two end up living together?
I don't really know the details. I can't remember anything from before I was with her. Apparently, I was a foundling. Sadly, finding a starving, abandoned child isn't that uncommon. But for her to take me in and raise me as her own, I think my mom was someone special.
Yeah, I guess. She was probably a good person.
Something on your mind, Hapi?
I was just wondering why someone who could use magic was living in a remote mountain village.
You know, someone told me one time that she wasn't actually from there. But when I asked her about it, she just gave me this sad smile.
Very interesting.
Seriously, Hapi, what's going on? Does it have something to do with my mom?
No, it's nothing. Sorry to bring it up. I was just letting my imagination get the better of me. Sorry if I upset you, really.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. No big deal. Besides, I'm sure you had your reasons, right? If you ever feel like talking about it, I'm always here.
Thanks. Just some old demons of mine.
Happens to the best of us. Don't sweat it. You want to head back and get something to eat?
Sure. Oh, and we can pick some berries on the way. I think I saw some a little bit ago.
What kind? After all my time in the mountains, I'm something of a berry expert myself.
I should call it a day. You sticking around?
Nah, I should finish up too. Thanks, Shamir. I have to work out new unit formations for our next battle.
You're pretty conscientious for a mercenary. That's rare in our profession. Well, sorry to cut and run. Good luck with all that.
No worries, I can handle it. It's my responsibility after all.
Right, well, if you ever need a hand, just let me know.
Really? Thanks. Dependable as always, Shamir. Honestly, you're so mature for your age. You always seem so composed, almost wise, even when we're just chatting.
I wouldn't say wise. Save that for the higher-ups. I just mind my own business. Plenty of mercenaries do the same.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
You know, you're pretty easygoing yourself, even by Merc standards. Have you been on your own for long? Didn't you belong to a mercenary group at some point?
Yeah, but I bounced around a lot. Let's see, the company I was with the longest was... probably Burling's Mercenaries, the last one I joined. But then we clashed with Gerald's band, and I was the only one who survived.
There isn't a mercenary who hasn't lost someone or something along the way. But losing trusted comrades stays with you.
Yeah, Captain Burling, Getz, Lasley. We were a tight-knit group, if a little rough around the edges. I would have been content staying with them till the end.
Maybe your experience is what's made you so pragmatic. It takes real strength to overcome past hardships and move on. That's what I think, anyway.
You know, you seem way more pragmatic than me. I wonder what made you that way.
You should know not to pry into a mercenary's past. But if the right moment comes, maybe I'll tell you about it.
That reminds me, I actually found myself at a noble's tea party not too long ago.
Oh, you must be talking about Sylvain, right? Probably had something to do with the woman?
No. It happened while I was doing some work as a bodyguard. The nobles who threw the party even gave me a cup of tea to show their appreciation. I didn't really know what to make of it, though. Hard to say if it was even good or bad.
Understandable. Settings like that tend to choke the flavor out of any food or drink you happen to come across, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm built for all that fancy stuff. Hey, remember when I asked you to sing for me? You belted out a verse from one of your operas? It kinda reminded me of that tea. It's like, I just don't have the background for that sort of stuff. If you don't grow up in it, you're not gonna get it.
Everyone has a right to those things, though. Taking in a tragic opera, letting an elegant meal dance across your taste buds. Nobody should be excluded from those pleasures just because they were born a commoner.
It'd be good if that's how things worked.
You think it's not?
Take my time back as a mercenary. I would have gladly eaten a half-cooked rat if it meant I was getting food in my belly. It's only since I joined up with this army that my palate's become a little more discerning. But what I'm saying is, if you never have the chance to eat good food, then you'll never know what good food is supposed to taste like. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but...
In that case...
Dorothea?
Oh, sorry. I got a bit caught up in my thoughts there. But I think it might be just as you say. will you indulge me for a moment?
Sure, what's on your mind?
When I first started singing, I did it for me. Only me. But it wasn't long until Manuela discovered my gift. So, I joined the opera company. It felt incredible. I wanted the whole world to hear my singing. But once I became a songstress, I started attracting more and more attention from the nobles. Before I knew it, I wasn't singing for myself anymore. I was singing for them. Now you can't even appreciate my songs if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
That might be true, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. So many people would kill to be able to do what you can do. So don't belittle yourself like that. Your singing is incredible, Dorothea.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I still can't help but wonder.
Aha.
Looks like he's at it again. How's the book, Ignatz?
Ah! Could you please not surprise me like that?
Sorry. So, you got more books, huh? They look expensive.
They were tucked away in my family's storeroom. I had my brother send them to me. We're a merchant family. All the books here are technically meant to be for sale. But they've gone unsold for years now, so he sent them, without telling my father.
Your brother sounds like a nice guy. Are you two close?
We weren't when we were younger, but I guess we are now. We do write to each other a lot. And he listens to even my strangest requests. That's why I tend to go to him for everything. Wonder if he feels sorry for me since I became a knight for our family's benefit.
So, you didn't really want to do it then?
Well, no, that's not... I did it because I wanted to help them. Now that I'm a knight for House Gloucester, I've been able to make a lot more connections with the nobility. If I use that to help my family's business, then I'm perfectly happy with where I am.
If you say so. What kind of books did you borrow?
A bunch of travel journals and collections of letters from far-off places. No matter how painful life may be, it all fades away when I read these books and imagine myself traveling.
Wait, did you just say painful? I knew you weren't happy. What you really want to do is travel around and paint all the scenery you like, don't you?
What? How do you know that?
You're not exactly hiding it. You've got books on painting techniques, preparing pigments, and all that kind of stuff right here.
Yes. The truth is, I love painting. I know the world holds all these wondrous sights that I can't even begin to imagine. If only I could see them for myself and capture them on canvas. I used to dream of doing that. But things are different now, you know? I don't regret becoming a knight, and I didn't do it just for my family's sake. I want to do my part to shape Fogland's future. It's my responsibility as much as anyone else's. That conviction has only grown with every battle. Ah, that must have sounded so arrogant. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassing myself.
All right. If you're gonna make it that clear you don't regret your choice, then I'll stop pestering you. But this war is gonna end one day. Why not keep your dreams alive for when it does?
Maybe I will.
a wonderful meal.
Hey, you've still got some food left. You don't want it? That Ogma Wolverine meat's super hard to come by, you know.
Oh, I don't really eat meat. You can have it.
Don't mind if I do then. You know, I always feel strangely energized after eating this stuff.
You look so pleased to be eating it.
It's not every day I get to hear you laugh. Did I look funny or something?
No, it's just that the look on your face made me feel happy.
Instead of just watching other people stuff their faces, maybe you'd enjoy trying some yourself?
I am perfectly content just watching.
Huh. Well, anyway, it seems like you've gotten more comfortable eating with me, Marianne.
I have. When you told me not to act like someone I'm not, at first I didn't know what to do with myself. But I still thought I could learn something from you. And as I talked with you more, I just got used to us eating together.
I see. Then why not branch out and eat with other people too? Mealtimes are a great opportunity to make new friends after all. Making conversation and sitting around the dinner table go hand in hand. That's how we ended up friends, right? It might be a good chance to get to know someone else. What's wrong?
I'm sorry, it's just... my adoptive father said the same thing to me once.
He did?
He often criticized me because I avoided other people so much. He said that, as the heir to House Edmund, I must be at least somewhat sociable. But he never bothered to understand how difficult it was for me to do that.
I'm sorry. I was being insensitive, just like your father.
No, you've done nothing wrong. But I don't think it's a good idea for me to get involved with too many people.
Why?
I only bring misery and misfortune to anyone who gets too close to me.
That's not true at all. Why do you even think that?
It is true. I know it.
Okay, if that's the case, then how is it possible for us to be hanging out right now without any problems?
You're right. I should have been more vigilant and kept some distance between us. But you're so kind and I just like being around you. I'm sorry. I'll stay as far away from you as I can from now on. I should go.
Hey, wait! Marianne! What am I gonna do about her?
Today's battle wasn't half bad. Minus that close call, I guess. I tell you, when I charged ahead and saw all those archers waiting for me, a single thought flashed through my mind. Not how I'd like to go, but that's life, I guess. Phew, I was sure I was done for.
What are you talking about? It was so windy, there was no way they could have gotten a clean shot at you. You completely wiped them out. Are you telling me you didn't plan it that way?
I mean, I knew a breeze was blowing, but still.
You're right. You would have been Balthus-sized target practice if the wind died down. But you bet your life that it wouldn't, right? That's something only you could pull off. I never would have taken those odds.
It was all lady luck, pal. Pure and simple. Where's this coming from, anyway? I thought you hated all that gambling on life and death stuff.
I did, but you're living proof that it can have a place on the battlefield. You roll the dice and get the job done. Can't argue with success. I have to accept that your way actually works. All I can do is hope you win your bets every time.
Thanks for saying that, but what happened today wasn't calculated at all. Things were going great, then I got carried away and made a stupid mistake. It just so happened that the wind was blowing the right way. Otherwise, I'd be dead.
You mean it was all just a coincidence? Well then, color me surprised.
It was a complete fluke, honest. That's why I was gonna tell you I've learned my lesson. That I'm done gambling with my life.
Really? That's the best idea you've ever had.
But since you admitted my way has merit, I think I'll keep rolling the dice. I gotta do what works for me, you know? Can't let one close call make me lose my nerve.
Wait, what? Isn't that what almost got you killed today? I take it back. You are definitely gonna die. Please stop.
Nope. Too late. A warrior doesn't go back on their word after all. We might have had some misunderstandings along the way, but what's important is that you learned to accept me for who I am, right?
In that case, what about you saying you weren't gonna bet your life on this stuff anymore? A warrior doesn't go back on their word, after all.
That doesn't count. I only said I was gonna tell you.
What kind of backwards logic is that? You absolutely said it, so this whole warrior code thing applies to you too.
I don't have a clue what you mean. It's not even remotely the same. Anyway, we can butt heads about it later. We gotta go celebrate our victory, right?
Fine, I can live with that. It's a tough job, but someone's gotta talk some sense into you.
Ah, it's you. How's it going? Any developments to report?
You mean with my power? Not really, no.
Perhaps using it regularly won't be enough to provoke growth. Good to know.
Hey, I thought you said you weren't interested. I mean, how many times are you gonna come ask me if anything's changed before you're happy?
Weren't you the one so keen on piquing my interest? I only wanted to check how that was going. If you don't think it's possible, just tell me and I'll stop asking.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely not happening.
What? But this was all your idea. How cruel of you to stoke my excitement only to back out at the first sign of adversity. Come on, just keep trying a little longer. How about this? Describe the circumstances in which you first awakened to your power. Maybe we can reproduce the situation and see if lightning doesn't strike twice.
Well, I was staring death in the face when it happened. I'd been beaten so badly I could barely stand. But I kept telling myself I wasn't ready to die yet. Then, out of nowhere, it just came to me.
I suppose we shouldn't try to recreate those conditions. Nobody wants a dead officer on their hands. Let's consider some other potentially relevant factors. Who was your opponent? Where did the struggle take place? What time of day was it? Do you think your emotions played any part in it?
I was fighting the Ashen Demon of all people. I hope we get the chance to cross swords again someday. As for the when and where, we were in a forest, at night. I'm pretty sure it was a full moon, too. And that leaves my emotional state. But I don't know how I could replicate the intense emotions of being at the brink of death like that.
I see. That context would prove quite tricky to simulate. And if your power functions similar to a crest, revealing itself even when you don't intend it, that leaves only one option. Observing you on the battlefield at all times. This is turning out to be more work than I signed up for.
Hey, weren't you telling me not to give up just a second ago? If I can do it, then so can you.
I'm not so sure.
Hi.
Bernadetta, listen. I'm sorry about what happened back there.
Oh, it wasn't your fault. I'm the one who should be apologizing.
I didn't realize things could even go that bad. I'm glad we managed to get you in front of the meanest-looking guy in my company. But that didn't last long before the nerves got to you. Quickest I've ever seen someone run, let me tell you.
And then I accidentally stepped on that horse's tail, so it started going wild and totally trashed the place. It'll probably take weeks for them to clean that up. Oh, you really did it this time, Bernie.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Water under the bridge, you know?
Yeah, thanks.
That aside, though, you still want to do something about your shyness, right? I can see why this is a bigger problem than your whole staying indoors thing. Your anxieties can be quite the hurdle to overcome.
I guess you're right. At least not going outside only makes problems for me.
Either way, now we know how things turn out when we try to force the issue. Looks like we're better off taking an incremental approach.
How's that work?
Well, we can start by having you hide nearby while I talk to someone you're afraid of. Then, I don't know, if the conversation gets interesting, maybe you can come out and join in?
I'm not going to care whether it's interesting or not. It doesn't matter if they're serious or boring or the most fascinating person in the world. All I care about is that they don't scare me.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna be tough to manage on its own, huh?
Well, maybe the incremental approach won't actually be as hard as we think.
Really? How do you figure?
I mean, I did used to think you were pretty terrifying. But with all this stuff we've been doing together, I've actually gotten used to you. And now I'm not really shy around you, am I?
I'm glad to hear you say it. I'd honestly be kinda sad if you were still afraid of me after all we've been through. Sounds like getting you used to people is the way to go after all. Maybe you just have to spend a lot of time with someone before you get really comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Anyway, here's hoping you and I can keep getting closer, Bernadetta.
Right.
La 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 la. La 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 la. How was that?
Yeah, good.
Still the same reaction, huh?
Sorry, me and singing just don't mix very well. Though it did make me feel warm inside, kind of like I was a kid again with my mom.
Hey, you do get it! That was a lullaby from a long, long time ago. Nowadays, nobody remembers the lyrics, though. Or sings it to their children, for that matter.
A lullaby, huh? I guess that's why it took me back the way it did. But wait, if nobody knows the words, how are you so sure that's even what it is? Just from how it sounds?
Well, there was this scholar who researched it a few years ago and said as much. Couldn't tell you if they were right, though.
Huh. Honestly, I kinda liked that it didn't have any words. That way it can hit you straight in the heart without all that lyrics and meaning stuff getting in the way.
I'm glad to hear you giving music a little more thought now.
And I'm glad I've had so many chances to listen to you sing. Your voice touches people, Dorothea, even if they don't have the knowledge to really appreciate the high-level art of it. I mean, look at me. Bottom of the barrel, and you still practically move me to tears.
Oh, come now, don't talk about yourself like that.
It doesn't really bother me. And I'm not wrong, am I? No birth parents, no real background to speak of. The whole wandering merc gig, it is what it is.
That's quite the positive attitude. I'll have to try a little bit of that myself sometime. In the meantime, I've once again been able to rethink my singing thanks to you. I lost much of my emotion about the craft during my time as a diva, but I can feel it coming back now.
You really are incredible. You know that?
How do you mean?
I don't know. There's just something beautiful about the way you speak. It's like your thoughts come out of your mouth fully formed, almost perfect, then find their way straight into people's hearts. Probably has something to do with all the training you did to become a diva, and all the training you've continued doing since. Meanwhile, here I am struggling to even make proper sentences when I try to talk about your singing.
Thank you for the kind words. It makes me feel a lot better hearing you say those things about me. But for the record, I don't think you're bad with words at all. Even your little speech now was the definition of smooth. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were trying to flirt with me.
Excuse me. May I ask for your ear?
Sure thing. What's on your mind?
I have the desire to be learning more about mercenaries. It is a subject of much fascination to me.
Sure, I guess. But I think you've heard most of the exciting bits by now.
Nonsense. Each word you speak is full of excitement. Please give me more illumination. For example, are you receiving payment for your work here?
Sure, me and Dimitri have a contract. Lucrative one too, as these things go. Guess the boss thinks pretty highly of me.
You said money was of importance for people who sell their swords. But what if an enemy offered a bigger payment? Would you be taking it?
Are you kidding? I'd tell them to get lost before they could finish the offer. But there are plenty of mercs who wouldn't. Gold sings loudest, you know? Still, if an enemy can outbid your current employer, it means they've got a good shot at winning. And nobody who enjoys breathing wants to wind up on the losing side.
So in Fodlan, one must try to be allies with the side that has more richness?
See, that's the thing. Trust is its own currency too. I mean, let's say someone shows up with a pile of gold and asks you to switch sides. Tempting, right? But you gotta be careful. You could take them up on their offer, only to learn that the money was just bait, and the guy actually wants you dead. And to make things worse, the honest employer you just stabbed in the back now knows you're as reliable as a three-legged horse. Point is, integrity means more to a mercenary than money. Probably should have led with that, actually.
I have understanding. Trust is of importance to everyone, but that has even more truth for a seller of swords.
You got it. Oh, and trust me, folks who hire for the best jobs make sure to know everything about you before extending the offer. But there's a flip side to that coin. If you're the type of employer who likes to leave mercs in the lurch, you better believe that word will get around. Hard enough to stay alive without that nonsense.
That is a thing we all share in common. We wish to keep breathing, as you said. And what if I was offering a job? We are on the same side. Would that be betrayal? Bridget is a land of richness. We can offer much in exchange for the selling of your sword.
Sorry, Petra. I'm off the market until I see my current contract through. Also, didn't we just get done discussing how terrible it is to abandon a job before it's done?
I knew you would be declining. You are the model of a mercenary.
Hey, how's it going? You been getting enough food?
Definitely. I'm eating way better than I was back in my mercenary days.
You didn't eat so good, huh?
I spent most of my time moving from place to place, so I had to manage on my own. I'd just fling whatever I could get my hands on into a pot. Can't say any of it ever tasted too great.
Wow, I'm surprised you could even live like that. And you never stayed at an inn?
Sometimes, if one happened to be nearby and I had a little extra money lining my pockets. But I never really felt like the food there was any better.
Sounds like you were at all the wrong places then. Nothing fun about a bad meal, I always say. That's why I want my inn to be known far and wide for its delicious food. I was actually hoping to do some cooking out here, too, so I could hone my craft. But I don't think it's going so good. You want to know why?
If I had to guess, it's because you think everything tastes good no matter what.
Hey now, I know the difference between regular old grub and the kind of stuff that gets your mouth watering. See, all the meat and fish we've got in the pantry is preserved. When you're not working with the fresh stuff, nothing you make's gonna have people hollering for more.
You think? But there are dishes from all over the world that use ingredients that are on the verge of going bad.
You sure that isn't because they don't have a choice?
I'm no expert, but I've heard it can make a nice cut of meat even more savory, depending on how you prep it.
Huh. Maybe we can learn some more if we ask someone who's from one of those places.
Not to mention, there are other ways of preserving food, too.
You mean, besides dumping salt on everything?
I'm sure you know about smoking your food, right? Things will keep for even longer if you do that after you cure them.
Yeah, but I heard that makes meat all smoky and gross. Kinda defeats the point if you ask me.
I think it depends on how you do it, and what kind of wood you use. Apparently, it's really good if you do it right.
Wow, you sure know a lot about this stuff.
My mercenary days showed me more about the world than I could have ever imagined. I only really remember bits and pieces, though.
Come on, don't be so modest. I can't wait to get back in the kitchen with these new ideas you gave me. Hey, speaking of ideas, you want to help me think up some recipes with the stuff we've got here?
I'm not so sure me and cooking mix, but yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a shot.
That's the spirit. I know we'll come up with some feast-worthy food if we just put our heads together.
Do you have a moment?
What's going on, Ignatz? Finally leaving on that journey to see the world?
No, not that. In fact, we're not going to talk about my dreams today. You always ask questions about me, but you never talk about yourself. So, I thought it was high time I asked about you. You certainly have piqued my curiosity.
Sure, go ahead. What did you want to ask?
Well, since I told you about my dreams, I wanted to know about yours.
My dreams, huh? I think being a mercenary and going wherever the wind takes me sounds pretty good.
You still want to be a mercenary? Even after the war's over? But we'll finally have peace. You won't have to fight anymore.
Yeah, but that's all I've been doing even since before the war started. I'd just be going back to my old way of life. Killing monsters, guarding villages. There's still plenty of work, even in times of peace. And who's to say some enemy from outside Fodlan won't show up?
That may be true, but isn't it difficult having to constantly fight all the time?
Every job's got its tough parts, but the mercenary lifestyle's a perfect match for my personality. I can't even imagine settling down and establishing roots somewhere.
Yeah, that does sound like you.
Does it now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just meant that you don't really seem like the kind of person who wants to stay tied down.
You think so? Well, whatever the case, I plan on earning my keep with my sword. As long as my body holds out, that is. What about you, Ignatz? You gonna stay a knight once this thing's over?
I'm not sure. I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it. But if my duties as a knight were to end at some point, then I guess that's when I could make my dreams a reality. If I were to do that, do you think you'd like to come with me as my bodyguard?
You do realize I'll be Fodlan's most sought-after mercenary by then. Well, I'm not gonna come cheap.
Oh, really? Then I'll have to work extra hard to save up some money. Because I really do want to travel with you.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ignatz. I'll be counting down the days till then.
Oh, hello. Are you on your way to get something to eat?
Yeah, you?
I am. Shall we go together then?
The sure thing. I wonder what they've cooked up for us today. Ah, that was satisfying. Pretty nice getting such tasty meals all the time, huh?
I agree. The meal was lovely.
You didn't finish your meat again. It's kind of a waste, you know.
I ate a lot of the vegetables, so you can have it.
Hey, if you're offering... Wait a minute. Haven't we had this conversation before?
I think we have.
Did something happen to you, Marianne? You seem more relaxed today. In a good way, of course.
Oh no, nothing in particular. But I made a decision. I'm not going to worry about whether I bring misfortune to others or not. I've been a part of this army for a while now, and I've worked closely with everyone in it. And nothing terrible has happened to anyone as a result of being around me.
Well, of course nothing bad's happened.
I'm still a bit anxious about everything, but I decided to adopt a more easygoing attitude. I'd like to emulate you and your nonchalant demeanor, how you can just move through the world without a care.
You're making me sound kinda irresponsible. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I say if you want to talk to people, then talk to them. If you want to be alone, then do that. I really think it's best to just be yourself. Don't force anything.
Yes, I think so too. But I fear my adoptive father might chastise me again if I say that to him.
I'm not so sure about that. I think he'd acknowledge how far you've come if he saw you now.
You really think so?
You might not have noticed, but you're a lot different than you used to be. You're definitely somewhat sociable. More so, even.
I just hope that's good enough for him.
I'd like to think it will be. Well, I mean, I guess I don't really know what kind of guy your father is.
Sometimes I think you say whatever pops into your head without thinking. I suppose that's what I like about you, isn't it? I can already tell I'm going to learn a lot from you.
I wouldn't go that far. Oh, Yuri, you're back. I thought you'd still be away.
Well, look who it is. I figured if I didn't come back before sunset, someone might get worried and ransack my room again.
I wasn't ransacking. You're gonna keep holding that over my head, aren't you?
Just joking, friend. No need to take everything so seriously. Anyway, it's late. Shouldn't you be getting some shut-eye?
Probably, but I just got my second win. How is your mom, by the way?
Well, it's not looking good, that's for sure. But she's still got some fight in her yet. I'd planned on staying longer, but she told me to do what I had to do and sent me on my way. One minute she wants to see me, the next she's telling me to go home. Honestly, she's all over the place.
Reminds me of my mom, the one who raised me anyway.
She passed away, didn't she? Judging by your expression, she must have been pretty special.
She was. More than I can say. She took me in when I'd been abandoned, taught me how to live. We weren't blood related, but she was my mom. No doubt about it.
I'm sure wherever she is now, she's very happy to hear you say that.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you something. It's been on my mind for a while now. About your real name? Your mom gave it to you, right? Where does it come from? I've never heard anything like it before.
Look up. No, a little more to the left. See that bright star over there?
Bright star to the left? Which one? There are thousands of stars up there, and they're all bright.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you find it or not. Anyway, it's that star's ancient name. The white star that the goddess herself made into a disciple. My mother is a devout follower of Ceros. But I know it's a pretty ostentatious name for a penniless kid.
I don't think so. It just shows how much you mean to her.
Yeah. Well, I do like it. She gave it to me after all. I'm not sure how much of the scriptures she really understands. But knowing her, I'm certain she put a lot of consideration into my name.
Then, doesn't it seem like kind of a waste not to use it? What with how much thought she put into it?
I've used many names, and each one comes with its own mask. But when I hear my real name, all those facades fall away. The only people who can call me that are those who are truly special to me. Immediate family, or someone just as important. Which means that if you're so intent on using my name, you'd better be willing to spend the rest of your life by my side.
The rest of my life, huh? Okay, I'll think about it.
The look on your face right now, it's priceless. Regardless, it does make me happy to hear that you like my name. And if you ever decide you're up for it, let me know, okay? I'll think it over too, just in case.
Constance, is that you? I don't think I've ever seen you train during the day.
Good day to you, though I fear my presence is as a storm cloud in an otherwise clear sky. My sincerest apologies for subjecting you to this wretched sight. I shall vacate the premises at once to spare you any further distress.
No, wait, don't go. Since you're here, why don't we train together? You're here because you're trying to achieve your dream, right?
Though it pains me to deny such kind words, of which I am truly unworthy. I am afraid my dream will likely never come to pass. This pathetic excuse for athleticism you see before you is nothing but a futile attempt to strengthen my frail body and stave off death. How could I possibly ask an exemplary warrior such as yourself to squander your time with one such as I?
Training so you don't die is as good a reason as any. I'd say that's why I'm doing it too. See? Our goals are the same, so there's no reason not to work together.
Well, since you have given it much more consideration than I deserve.
Phew, what a workout. I'm beat.
To think my other side would be able to keep up with such rigorous training.
You okay, Constance?
Never better. In fact, I am just getting started. Are you leaving so soon?
You're still raring to go? You're weirdly energetic all of a sudden.
I surprise even myself sometimes. Making my dreams a reality takes effort, you know. I cannot allow something so trifling as exhaustion to stand in my way. Who knows how long things would take if I did? Therefore, I shall spare no opportunity to train today. And tomorrow, all of Fodlan will behold my military prowess.
That's all well and good, but then why didn't you want to train before?
I told you there were extenuating circumstances. Had I known you would respond in such a manner, I would have asked for your assistance much earlier. Oh! I just had a brilliant idea!
I've got a bad feeling about this.
We can train together and conduct magical experiments at the same time! You see, I've invented this particular spell that imbues the palms with a suction power that makes dropping one's weapon a hindrance of the past.
Sure, why not? I'll try anything once. Go for it.
Splendid! Let us begin, shall we?
One side has an overabundance of confidence, while the other clearly has some deep-seated issues. Maybe the two balance each other out.
What are you blathering on about? Let us be on with it!
Hey, Hapi. You got a minute?
I have several. Need something?
So, I heard a little about your past, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind telling me more about it.
I see. So now you know, huh? Not the most pleasant story. What did you want to know?
I was thinking about how you asked all those questions about my mom. And I realized you were probably worried I went through the same thing as you.
Yeah, that about sums it up. You do have those mysterious powers after all. When I was little, some strange lady kidnapped me. I became a test subject for her twisted experiments. That's how I ended up with my condition, or whatever you want to call it. Not that it's life-threatening.
Safe to say my mom never did anything like that. I'm pretty sure I'd remember it if she did. She didn't really talk much, but I don't think she had a deceitful bone in her body. Her life was kind of just what you'd expect out in a village like that. She did keep to herself, though. Thinking about it more, it's possible she was on the run from someone.
That does sound a little worrying. But in any event, I'm glad you didn't go through what I did. And unlike me, it seems you've got a pretty good handle on your powers.
Nah, I don't really have full control of them yet. You never know when something might go wrong. One day that sword might overtake me, and I'll turn into a monster. Like something out of a fairy tale.
If that ever happens, I'll just sigh, and you'll come running. Then me and all your old friends would put you out of your misery. Now that's a real fairy tale ending.
Well, that won't give me nightmares at all. But if it ever came to it, I think that's how I'd like to go. Mercenaries need to use every weapon and tactic at their disposal. Maybe flinging these powers around isn't such a good idea, but right now I need to do whatever I can to stay alive. Though, honestly, I should probably take a page out of your book and only use them as a last resort. I think that's what makes you pretty incredible, Hapi. You've got this power right there, but choose not to use it.
I think that means I just gave up. You're way more amazing because you're still trying. No doubt about it.
No, you're the amazing one, and you can't tell me otherwise.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Anyway, was that all? 'Cause I feel like I need to move.
Yeah, thanks for talking with me. You going to train?
Yep. Figure it couldn't hurt to put in a little effort. You should come too if you're free. I hope to see you there.
Come to think of it, experiments, huh? What did that dream even mean? That's hilarious. Who knew there could be a merc like that?
Yeah, he'd say it with a completely straight face, too. I take my pay in apples. This guy would storm onto the battlefield lugging around a sack full of apples. Truly one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
I guess you could say he was hungry for battle. Wish I could have seen that myself.
He was probably the best smelling guy out there. I'll give him that. That reminds me. Remember when you asked about my past?
Yeah, sorry if that was out of line. I shouldn't have pried.
No, it's okay. Actually, I thought I would tell you, if you're still interested.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. It's not much of a story anyway. Besides, it's already been 7 years. I used to belong to an organization that was less a group and more like one giant mercenary state. Not the kind of place you go for building bonds of trust and camaraderie. Still, There was one person there who I thought of as a partner. As you can probably guess, he was killed. And that was that.
Yeah, that's how these stories always end. I know it was a long time ago, but I'm really sorry. But why'd you want to tell me all of a sudden? I thought you hated talking about your past.
I felt a little guilty. You shared your story with me earlier, but I didn't tell you mine. At the time, I wasn't about to go telling some stranger all about my past. But now I think you're at least somewhat trustworthy. So I told you. That's all.
Seriously? Wow. I'm really happy to hear that, especially from you.
Why? Everyone here adores you. I'm sure you hear stuff like that all the time.
All the time? Come on, that's an exaggeration. I've always felt that you were a more distinguished mercenary than me. Earning recognition from a merc I respect is a real honor.
So if you see me as some sort of senior mercenary, I guess that makes me the mentor in this relationship.
I guess.
I see. All this time I've been treating you like an equal, but maybe I should have been taking you under my wing instead.
How would you feel if I took you up on that? Seems like fun.
Yeah, well, you know what else is fun? Any person I mentor has to pay for drinks. All of them.
No way! What kind of deal is that?
Just a joke, sorry. I have no intention of treating you any different.
I should have known. That's why I like you, Shamir.
So in the end, it seems we're no closer to unveiling the truth about your powers.
You can say that again. At this rate, the war will be over and done with by the time we make any headway.
That would admittedly be cause for celebration, at least. Your power, like that of a crest, is undoubtedly meant to be wielded as an instrument of war. And as the tides of battle recede, your chances of encountering a life-or-death situation grow slimmer and slimmer. Therefore, you'll be forced to use your power less and less often. And that's probably for the best.
True. The less reason to unleash this on the world, the better.
You know, they say even a hero's relic, wielded by its corresponding crest-bearer, will still drain a portion of that person's life. It's reasonable to suspect your power could have a similar impact on both your body and mind.
Hey, you're starting to scare me here. Honestly, I was just planning on going back to being a regular old mercenary after the war ends. Can't really imagine life without a blade in my hand, you know?
I should have guessed. I imagine your expert services will be in high demand even once the conflict is over. In fact, the king himself seemed keen on asking you to settle down somewhere to support his rule.
Really? Not that I'm not flattered, of course, but putting down roots isn't really my thing.
No, I suppose not. Though I have to admit, it would put my mind at ease to have you by my side once this is all over.
You want me by your side? Would you care to elaborate on that?
Consider the possibilities. A seemingly unarmed attendant who's able to produce a sword in the blink of an eye. It would be a great crime deterrent, don't you think? You'd prove quite handy on my travels.
I figured that's what you meant. A pure Linhardt answer if I've ever heard one. But how's that any different from a regular bodyguard? Seems like you could just hire one of those and be done with it.
Maybe so, but I don't want to be spending the rest of my life with a random bodyguard, do I?
Hold on. What?
Oh, well, look at the time. It seems I've forgotten an urgent matter I need to attend to. Bye for now.
Wait, Linhardt! Come back!
This war is going on and on. Do you think we will ever have sight of the end?
Yeah, I do. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but it's definitely out there on the horizon.
It will be good to be putting this war behind us. When the war is finished, what are you wishing to do?
That's a pretty big question.
Then I will give more clarity. How will you be supporting yourself when your contract is completed? If you have the desire, you could come to Bridget with me.
Wait, seriously? I thought you were just pulling my leg about that.
I would never be pulling your legs. Also, I am speaking with seriousness. After losing the war with the Empire, Bridget was forced into becoming a vassal state. But this war is giving Bridget the chance to stand on equal feet again. We will be opening our borders to Fodlan. The exchanges between us will flourish. I am needing a person I can trust to give me help with this.
Huh.
Please, accept my apologies if the offer was given with too much suddenness.
No, it's not that. I was just taking a moment to admire you. This war has been particularly ugly, and it seems like we're tearing each other apart on a daily basis. But people like you and Dimitri are already thinking about what comes next, how to plan for it. You're every bit the ruler they are.
No, I am different. I am the Queen of Bridget. We are the proud Isles, placed upon the sea by the spirits, who are watching over us to this day. Our future has the brightness of the sun. I am hoping you will be at my side as we are shaping it.
Powerful words. And I'm happy you put that much stock in me. Honestly, it's a good fit. I've got nothing tying me down. No family, no titles, no property to speak of.
I am not asking for your answer in this moment. I know your sword is sold right now. But when this war is over, I hope the making of a decision is at the top of your to-be-doing list. That is why I am approaching you so early, because I am very, very sneaky.
Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind. And I don't blame you for trying to sneak ahead of the competition. Honestly, I'm kind of flattered. So, how about this? Let's both make it through this war unscathed and decide what comes next together.
Hey, you gotta hear this!
What's up, Raphael? You're looking extra cheerful today.
Have you seen the looks on all the soldiers' faces lately? Don't they seem way more motivated?
Well, yeah. I was wondering what was going on with that.
Well, I was curious too, so I asked. And you know what they said?
Is it because we're winning the war? Lots of victories always boost morale.
Makes sense. Anyway, that's not the reason this time. They all said it was because of the food.
You don't mean...
Yep, they've all been eating the dishes we came up with. You know, with the smoked meat and the rotten food.
Hey, didn't I tell you not to call it rotten? In any case, our hard work definitely paid off. And the food's great too, if I do say so myself.
Right? I could eat that stuff over and over again and never get sick of it. And it's a big hit with the soldiers too. They said they actually get excited for mealtime now. Plus, it's made them fight way harder in battle.
I'm really glad everyone's so happy with it. Makes all our effort feel completely worthwhile.
You bet. See, food's important no matter who, when, or where you are.
Yeah, back in my mercenary days, I'd scarf down any old scraps so long as I was full at the end of it. But I've changed my outlook. Honestly, I feel like I can work even harder now that I can look forward to all my meals. And I never would have gotten here without you, Raphael. Thanks.
Huh. I was just thinking the same thing about you. Guess we helped each other equally. You know, I scrounged up every last piece of gold I could find just so I could go to the Officers' Academy and become a knight. But once it shut down, opening the inn was basically my only option. But then, running the inn helped me realize all sorts of important stuff too. And now I'm sure, once this war's all wrapped up, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to become the best innkeeper in all of Fodlan.
Sounds like a solid plan, but you'll probably need to up your cooking game even more if that's the end goal.
Yeah, I bet I'll have to train under a real great chef to get me where I want to be. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna come up with a brand new style of cooking. Something that'll really work my muscles.
What would that even look like?
Well, I don't know. I haven't invented it yet. Whatever the case, I know what I want to do now. Hey, what do you say to tagging along with me? I think you've got a real knack for this cooking stuff.
I'll think about it. Just be ready to have me showing up at your doorstep if the mercenary work ever dries up.
So you're gonna stick to being a hired hand, huh? Well, as long as that's what you want to do. Oh, but keep an eye out for an invitation from me. You'll definitely have to come over and try all the rotten food I cook up.
Seriously, stop calling it that. But thanks. I'm looking forward to it, Raphael.